Hello everybody, welcome back to Everything Actually with me, your host, Ashley Fisher. This is episode 27, guys. Crazy. Every time, obviously, it's gonna be one up every single time, but just hearing 27 episodes is a lot. So if you missed any of them, check them out. All of them are on Spotify. There's probably the first 5 aren't on YouTube, but they're all on Spotify. Hopping right on into today's episode, it's going to be titled something along the lines of, I need help, I need advice, and where this is coming from. So, my big 3 in astrology, it's your big 3 are your sun, moon, and rising, because not here to give a whole astrology lesson, but basically those are your main ones, right? It's how other people see you, how you see yourself, things of that nature. So my sun is in Libra, which to me, I'm such a Libra. I hope I have a few astrology girlies who are like, I knew you were a Libra. I'm a Libra. Hey. And furthermore, in October, Libra. That'll mean something to some people. But then my moon and my rising are in Sagittarius. But I asked ChatGPT about it, and this is essentially what she said. So, my Sag moon means that I feel like a mentor, and then having a Sagittarius rising means I look like a mentor to other people. So basically in my chart, it says that I'm the type of person to always want to give advice, to want to be that older, big sister advice, a mentor, a coach, not a therapist. I used to want to be a psychiatrist. Now I need one, but neither here nor there. So, I just always want to give people advice, and that is where this podcast started out. To bring that back to the point of this episode, I'm always wanting to, give people advice. If somebody comes to me and they're like, oh, I hate my job, I'm the first person to say, why are you still in it? Why don't you leave? Why don't you do X, Y, and Z so that you can be happier and in a more favorable career? I'm always the first person to be like, you can always be better. Not in a hating on you way, just it's I wholeheartedly believe that if there is something that you are unhappy with in your life, you're the only person who could change it, and that you are more than capable of changing it. So now I'm reflecting that back onto myself, being like, babe, you need help. Why are you as I say everything, I mentioned this at least every other episode, everything is projecting. So when I made one of my past episodes being what to do when you need motivation, that's because I was so unmotivated and just not where I wanted to be, and everything I was telling you guys, saying do this to get more motivated, do that was me telling myself that. So now I'm taking a step back, being I'm not where I want to be in life. These past 2-3 days, I was just laying in bed, did not want to do anything. And I'm something's got to give. Something's got to change. So let's hop right into my points. I went on TikTok live earlier, which I actually love doing. I love going live on TikTok. There are some creepers on there. Doesn't surprise me. And I'm gonna say this in case any of y'all know, because I had a girl, unless it wasn't actually a girl and I just thought it was. I was wearing this oversized t-shirt. 2 separate users, 30 minutes apart, wanted me to put my shirt, over my knees and face forward in the camera. And I was they're oh, do this for a galaxy. I'm what? People were asking me to show my feet. I understand why that's, but, why they wanted me to sit like this with a t-shirt over me, I was that's weird, but I didn't know, why it was weird. Neither here nor there, but basically I was planning my whole episode on TikTok Live. And this is the part I need my computer for. Another really quick part, which, I'm sure there's a few of you fellas out there who do not give a single F about astrology. But this is something for my astrology girlies or guys, whatever. If you are into this, you can ask ChatGPT, just being is there, once you, tell them your chart, if there is something going on astrology, astrologically in your life right now. So mine, which is I want to sum it up and then go into it. Basically, it told me that I was finishing a 5-year cycle in like August, September. You know what was happening 5 years ago in August, September? I was going to college. So for those years of the 5-year cycle, I was in college. And then the 5th one is my first year post-grad that I'm living in Tampa, Florida. Come mid-September, I'm moving back home to New Jersey. I'm completing this cycle. So what it actually is, it was a 5-year Saturn cycle. So it was saying when I left home at 17, 18, I entered a long period of learning hard lessons about identity, independence, and self-discipline. This chapter's now closed, and now I'm going home as a more evolved version of myself. It says you're entering your North Node return, age 23, which will happen in October. It goes, your North Node's your soul's true direction, your destiny in this lifetime. Around 23, it returns to where it was when you were born and gives you a cosmic wake-up call. It says, stop playing small, you've learned enough, it's time to step into your purpose. So, what they say as the too long didn't read part of this, you just ended a karmic cycle, Saturn, and now you're entering your purpose path, North Node. Going home isn't regression, it's your launch pad. Whether you believe in it or not, I would say you can look up when your like Saturn 5-year cycle is, when you're returning to your North Node, this and that. But the fact that it started when I left for college and is ending when I'm returning back home to New Jersey is like mind-boggling to me. Here's the first like realization that I had. External factors are not the key to your happiness. So when you say, oh, when I have this job, I'll be happy. When I have a boyfriend, I'll be happy. When I move back home in New Jersey, I'll be happy. That's not the way to live your life. And it's kind of not correct. It's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not confirming, not affirmative. Like, it's not guaranteed to make you happy. So a few explanations I go into this is, so right now, how I said, I'm unemployed. I'm working with Jägermeister as a promotional model, so I'll like serve alcohol on the weekends and stuff, but it's not a full-time 9 to 5 during the week. And I always said, like, not always said, but basically when I was at my last job, I was like, okay, I'm working this job so that I can build my own like influencer, social media, podcast, TikTok, so I could build a presence so that I don't need a 9 to 5, so that I can have this freedom to do whatever I want. Now that I'm unemployed, I have the freedom to do whatever I want, and I'm not happy. I'm like, I kind of have no, like, urgency towards anything. And I bring up later how, like, oh, well, when the timing's right, if you have patience, and which I don't really believe in, but we'll get to that. So I choose my day today, still not happy. And it's because I need, like, will. I need a sense of urgency, because it's like if I'm laying in bed, I wake up around whenever I want to wake up, I'm like, okay, you know what I would like to do today? I would like to post on TikTok, record a podcast, apply to some jobs, go to the gym, work out, and clean. That's pretty much, like, the 6 things that I would like to do. Shower. 7 things I would like to do every single day to, like, lead my dream life, because, like, my dream life is literally pretty much what I'm doing now, but with a heavier following, so that there's more engagement, and with, like, more opportunities and more money. So if I want to wake up and I want to go to Dunkin' Donuts, I can go to Dunkin' Donuts. I just want freedom to be able to do whatever I want, is what it comes down to. Like, I don't want to be locked into this 9 to 5, because then this is where, so I do truly feel like something of this nature, something with social media, something with podcasting, something with, like, teaching, preaching, how I'm talking about, like, my Sagittarius moon and rising. I think that's what I'm meant to do. Also, I'm 22, which I get is young. I saw something that was like, okay, you're 22, you think you're young, but it's like, how do I even say this? You don't know how much time is left in your hourglass. God forbid, but I can literally go to drive to Wawa later tonight and die. Like, don't want that happening, obviously, but it's like, you really don't know. So for me to say I'm 22, I'm young, I think both of those are equally, like, negative ideas to put in your head, because I went to a psychic when I went, once again, just hold your thoughts if you don't believe in it. Went to a psychic when I was like, maybe like a junior in high school, senior in high school. And they told me that, because I've always been so like urgent, being like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this by the time I'm this age. I need to get this done. I need to get this done. Otherwise, I'm not successful. Otherwise, I'm a failure in my eyes. And the psychic literally told me, being like, you need to slow down. Like, you have so much time. So we'll get to a part of this in, like, personality traits that I would like to change about myself, essentially, so that I could be more aligned with my dream version of myself and then start manifesting the things that I want. But that's one of those ideas that I don't know how I feel about it. So I would love for you guys to let me know how you feel. If you're very like, I'm young, I have time to figure this out. Or if you're like, I'm young now, I need to start grinding so I can get to where I want to be. The little blurb I was trying to get to at the beginning, where I was like, I think that podcasting, like, this is my passion. This is what I love to do. This is what I would love to get paid for and make a career out of. But it's like, what if it's not? Like, what if I'm meant to be more in broadcasting for a news station, and this is when I'm young that I can be doing internships and building my career, but instead I'm chasing after this. But I'm like, what if it's just not meant to be? Which is a point that, once again, I'll get to. But I'm like, do you see how this is a constant battle in my head of being like, am I not doing enough, or is it just not the right time? So that's personal battle I'm going through. But to stem back to, external factors are not the key to your happiness. So now let's say how I'm saying right now that I don't have a job and I don't have money. So let's say I get a job and I get some money. I can still be bored and broke. Just because I'm getting money doesn't mean that I'm not spending it the way that I've always spent it. Just because now I have a job that's motivating me to be somewhere between 9 to 5 and actually have a schedule does not mean that I'm going to be fulfilled now that I have this extra blurb on my resume. You know what I mean? Because it's like not what I want. So now this is a little quote I put, I want it until I have it. I think everybody feels this way, honestly. You know how it is. If you want the newest iPhone, you're begging your parents for it. You're like, oh my gosh, but I just need it. Please, please, please. And then you get it. After like a week, you're like, this is just my phone. Like, this is just, you know, my casual day-to-day, like, whatever. I kind of love the idea of always stemming it back to like childhood, because it's like kids don't actually think about stuff as much. So then when you develop the same way, it's like, well, you were always that way. So it's like with kids, they get a new toy for Christmas. They're going to play with it for the next 2 weeks and then get bored of it. If it was just something kind of random they want. I heard this one guy tell a story on TikTok who he was like, his dad was giving him a BB gun for Christmas when he was younger, but he like hit his sister, and the dad came and yelled at him and was like, you never lay your hands on a woman. And then the dad showed him the BB gun and was like, you were going to get this for Christmas this year, now you're going to wait an entire year. And he hid it from his kid, didn't give it to him until an entire year later, and now he had to wait for it, work for it, and then once he got it, he appreciated it more because he had to wait that long. I think that's similar with everything else. I always want to relate it to my podcast career, but just saying, with anything, if you put more work, dedication, discipline, effort into something, you're going to feel like the rewards are better. Like, apply this how you will. I'm thinking of a bunch of different examples, but I think you guys get it. Just think of something that you really, really wanted, and if you had to work for it and how it felt after, versus something you were kind of just handed to you that you were like, oh, okay, well, now I have it. That's great. But it doesn't feel as rewarding because you didn't have to do that much for it. So this was a little like extra part for it. I feel like the way I'm explaining it doesn't make that much sense, but do what you want. Because this was a basic hair dye example I came up with. Let's say I have blonde hair, obvi. And now I have a crush on a guy, and all my best friends are like, you would look so good with black hair. Like, your crush would love you more. Like, everybody would love you on social media. Like, you need to dye your hair black. Then I dye my hair black because I think that I'm going to get this external validation. I think my friends are going to think I'm prettier. I think the internet's going to think I'm prettier. And I think that my crush is going to like me more now. So now I dye my hair black, not because I want to have black hair, but because I want to have the rewards of what I think are going to be the rewards of having black hair. Dye my hair, and now it's like my crush doesn't like me, and all my friends are like, ew, you looked so much better with blonde hair. Now it's like, I didn't get that external validation, so I just did it for no reason. This is similar to when you're thinking about what goals you want. So if I'm saying, I want to blow up on TikTok, I want to have a fan base. Do I want to have this fan base because I think people would like me more? Because I think that if more people follow me, I would like myself more. You know what I mean? You need to like dig into the things you want and see if the effort that you're putting into it, A, is going to like match your desired results. So it's like if I want to blow up on TikTok, I can't be posting once a week. So my input is not going to match what I want my output to be, is the first note. Yeah, I've talked about this in a previous episode being like, do you even really want it? Or is it everybody else wants you to have it? So then this connects then with your result, the outcome, once you do achieve whatever it is that you're working for. Is it because everybody else wanted you to have it? Or is it because you wanted to have it and now you feel so like successful and fulfilled having done so? So this is kind of, we have like 2-3 more points. I'm at 17 minutes. I did want to make this like rather short, so I'm going to wrap it up by 30 for sure. This is my main point. You are still you. So once again, this episode's literally targeted at me. So I'm saying like, I'm still me, although I would like to have a 9-to-5 job so that I can have a better sense of like stability, so that I'm having this income. Just because I'm making more money doesn't mean that I'm pissing it away the same way that I have been all my other money. If someone were to give me $20 and someone were to give me $2,000, I would treat it the same exact way. So just because I'm making more money does not mean that I'm keeping more money. You know what I mean? So it's like, that aspect, I just think of money as a super easy way to explain it. But that works with like everything. Like if I'm saying, part of it is also like, I kind of want more friends, but I can't just like, I don't really know how to explain this one. I want more friends because I kind of want like more people to hang out with, like more interaction, more connection, which I think it's like one of the first episodes, the need for connection on my YouTube. But it's like, I really value my free time, or my alone time. So it's like, I want more friends, but it's like, I'm not going to get more friends if I, deep down, like, don't want to hang out with more people. Like, maybe I am okay, my roommate being my one best friend, and it's like, when I want to go out on the weekends, she's there for me to go out on the weekend. So it's like, back to my original point, do I really want more friends, or do I want that external validation from other people to look at me and be like, wow, she has so many friends? But it's like, deep down, I don't like having 10, like, friends that I could just, like, whatever. I prefer to have my one best friend who knows everything about me and is going to be there for my wedding. So I stick with that. All of these, like, the original sayings are just things that you need to apply to your life, but it's, yeah, you're still you. And the other part is, you're not ready until you change. So back with that, the money point, the friend point, with money, I'm always going to feel like I'm lacking in money unless I change. So here's some things to call myself out on things that I want to change. And this one gets a little controversial. Patience and optimism. I'm not a patient person. And very important point, the way that you speak about yourself is how you will view yourself, how the universe will treat you, how other people will treat you. I've been saying that I'm impatient for the past 22 years. Why do I think that it's all of a sudden going to change? It's not if I'm gonna, and I'm not saying it's not gonna change because it's been 22 years. I'm saying it's not gonna change because I'm telling myself I'm an impatient person. Every time I get confronted with an experience where I need to be patient and I crack, I'm like, well, obviously I cracked. I'm an impatient person. This is something I'm working on. This is something I've said I've been working on. It comes up in kind of like when I want to get in a fight with my sister. Like, if she says something and I'm like, I'm just going to bite my tongue, I'm not going to say anything. Or if, like, especially with driving, I'm an angry driver. Here we go again with that. The way I speak about myself is the way that it shows up. So if I'm saying I'm an angry driver, people cut me off and I immediately lose patience. I want to honk. I want to ride their butt. Like, all this, that, and the third. So I think I need more patience and optimism. I'm a pretty optimistic person, especially for others. For myself, maybe not. Like, I do believe that, like, there's sirens going on in the back, but it's like, I believe everything works out for the better. I believe that God's plan is, like, greater than your own, that if something doesn't work out the way that you wanted to, no matter how hard you tried for it, it's because there's something greater gonna happen later. But as I've been saying, I've been stuck in this cycle for the past, like, month. That I'm just like, am I not doing enough? Is it just not the right timing? Like, what do I do? So with patience and optimism, I think I would love to say I'm so patient, I'm so optimistic. I don't get why this isn't working out for me. The only thing I could say is that I don't think that I'm doing enough. But it's like, I also wholeheartedly believe that there are some things that are just not meant for you. And no matter how hard you work and how much effort you put into it, it'll never work out that way because you're destined for something else. It's like with my podcast, is my podcast not blowing up because I'm not posting as much as I should? Because I just know that there's so many things that I can be doing that makes it feel like what I am doing isn't enough. And not to get emotional now, but I feel like that with, like, oh, now I am going to get emotional. I feel like that with, like, every aspect in my life. Like, I just feel like I'm not doing enough. And I have this one girl, Laura, she, like, shout out Laura if you ever watch this. She works with me for Jaeger. She's doing so much. Like, she's like a chem student or something. She's, like, making makeup and shampoos and labs, and then she doesn't only work for Jaeger, she works for Aperol, and she does modeling for this company, and she's a part of this entrepreneur club. Like, in my head, I'm like, she does so much. I'm not doing enough. Yes, comparison is the thief of joy, but at the same time, like, yeah, I think that is one of my biggest flaws, but it's also kind of one of my biggest, like, motivators, is that I just never feel like I'm doing enough. And I posted a TikTok about this, like, yesterday, and my sister commented on it because my whole TikTok was pretty much just being like, kind of that idea that it's like, I can't just relax. Like, if I'm just laying in bed on TikTok for an hour, I'm like, I'm such a loser, I'm such a bum, this is such a waste of my time, this is why I'm not where I need to be in my life. I'm showing you guys such, like, a pessimistic side of me because I was having this conversation with this guy when I was just, like, really down on myself, and he was just kind of like, are you, like, usually this hard on yourself? And I'm like, I've always been hard on myself, but I think that, like, I've always pushed myself to be, like, the best in sports, to be, like, a straight A student. Like, those things were very quantitative. Like, I was able to measure my success based on my grades, my sports stats, like, things of that nature. So I feel like here, I feel so stuck. So, all right, let me get a sip of water and then, like, get a little back on track with that. So I'm saying I need patience and optimism, because as that whole spiel I just gave you, I'm not very patient because I'm like, why is this not happening? I'm not very optimistic because I'm like, is it something I'm doing? Like, why am I just failing? And I wrote a little note being like, I believe stress and anxiety is motivating because you know how that's like your, what's the word? It's like your instincts, that it's like you get stressed and you get anxious because your body thinks that you're unsafe. that is the root of it with your nervous system, is because your body thinks that you are unsafe. So, okay, long story short, because whenever I don't have a strict answer for something, I always go back and forth. I need patience and optimism, but I feel like not having patience and not having optimism. Here we go. This is where I think the clarification is. I would say that it's pushing me to do more. But is it really? Like, only a little bit. It's more stressing me out and making me more upset and more pessimistic and more not aligned with this dream version of myself. The third one, I just need to be more disciplined and make a plan. So if I say, which I have been doing, being like, I'm going to post 5 times a day on TikTok, I've been doing that. I'm going to apply to jobs this many times a week. Like, I'm going to do this and then do it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because I think that is one really, like, something that'll help me out of this mindset of, oh, I'm not doing enough. Because I've learned this before. As I've said, I've always been like this. So then by the time that I'm going to sleep at night, I'm like, didn't do enough. Now we got to start again tomorrow. Like, sometimes it's stressful being me. But point being, I don't remember where I was wrapping that one up. Oh, if I make a to-do list, let's say on the to-do list I have post 5 TikToks, take a shower, go to the gym, cook dinner, record a podcast. If I check all of those things off, then at the end of the day, I can look at that list and be like, wow, I did this, that, and that. So instead of just being stuck in my head being like, I didn't do anything today, it's like, no, you did, and you wrote it down. I just need it to be like tangible and in front of me. And then this is pretty much the last note, which I can like wrap up pretty quickly. Who defines who you are? Which I think is a good question. Do you define who you are? If I say, all right, I'm a successful podcaster and I'm a gym girly, do I need stats for that? Is it like I need to go to the gym 5 times a week to be a gym girly? Do I need to post on TikTok and show to everybody else I'm a gym girly? To be a successful podcaster, does that look like having 50 subscribers? Does that look like having 200 subscribers? Or does that just look like me posting twice a week? You know what I mean? This is more of an identity question. I would love to do a whole nother episode on it, and because we're at 28 minutes, maybe I will. My short answer for this is I think you define who you are, but it also helps when people confirm it for you. So, like, when I was in college, I didn't join a sorority until, and people can also see you differently. So, didn't join a sorority until my junior year of college. So people who knew me freshman and sophomore year, they would think of me more as like, oh, she was a wild club girl, whatever. But then it's like, all my best friends that I met in that sorority, they're like, oh, she's a Kappa. Like, oh, she's my sorority sister. Like, she's such a sorority girl. You know what I mean? So it's like different people identify me differently. And then I'm sure there's even people maybe from high school that like saw me join a sorority and were like, oh, I would have never seen her as a sorority girl. And it's like, that still doesn't click in their mind. I'm going to have to do a whole nother episode on identity because I don't really know how I feel about it, because I feel confined by how other people view me. I loved leaving high school in my hometown because I was like, I feel like everybody's known me for like these 4 years as, you know, like as one thing. So then when I got the chance to move to Florida for college, I was like, nobody here knows me. This is my chance to rewrite who I want to be. I also think your social media presence says a lot about who you choose to identify as. So if you play a professional, let's say you play basketball in college and your entire Instagram is you playing basketball, chances are when people go to your Instagram to judge you, to see like what you're about, they're going to be like, oh, she's a college basketball player. And then that's their first impression. And I really think that first impressions are the most important because that's what clicks. That's what makes sense to people. That's what they initially see and that's what they run with. So, to wrap that up, I wrote my question as who defines who you are? If I want to be a sexy popular influencer, who decides that? And will I feel it when they do? Because that's another thing. Let's say I want to be this. I want people to see me as an influencer, and it's like, everybody who follows me on TikTok, maybe they do. But it's like, my parents, maybe they'll never see me as an influencer. So then where does that leave me? Do I see myself as an influencer? I don't know. This is a hard one because it's like, I want to say that how you see yourself is the most important thing. Let's say I see myself as like the best, the bad, like whatever. And it's like, so then I just carry myself like that because I know that I'm like the best. And this is just a little quick example because I'm trying to wrap this up. But I see myself as this, and then I assume other people see myself as this. But now if you were to ask somebody and be like, oh, do you see Ashley as the biggest, the baddest? And they're like, no, not at all. But in my reality, I think that everybody does. So whatever they actually think doesn't affect me because I'm so delusional in this that I'm like, this is just who I am. This is what it is. We're going to do a whole nother episode. I'm going to probably make that my next, right on my handy dandy clipboard. Make that the next episode being like self-identity. And I want to say like / who decides who you are. Yeah. That's going to be a great one. So to wrap up this episode, what I wrote as the finalized notes, define who you want to be and start acting like her. This also I could have talked about for 20 million minutes, but let's say I want to be a gym baddie who knows nutrition and reads and has a fire tan. You know how I could do that? Start reading, go to the gym every single day, learn more about nutrition, and get a really good tanning oil and start tanning every other day. That's another core belief that I have that I'm like, why am I not there yet? That it's like, whoever you want to be, you could be them. You literally just need to be like, what do they do? What does the dream version of you do? Let's say you're going to sleep at night and you don't want to brush your teeth and you're like, the dream version of me would brush their teeth. So now you're going to get up and brush your teeth because that's what the idealized version of you would do. And by you doing it, you're stepping into them. All right, guys, that was a fun episode. I'm literally going to watch and record it. I'm literally going to watch it back and edit it right now. I've been trying to do a little, like, silly, fun edits. I think maybe I'll just try doing, like, an intro and an outro screen because, as I said, there are a million tools. You can do whatever you want in this life. I know I have the tools, the base to learn how to edit. I'm just kind of not doing it. I'm just not doing it because why am I not doing it? Alright, guys. Well, thanks for sticking with me, for hearing a little bit about my insecurities, and I hope that this helped you guys. As I said, I'm a Sagittarius, moon and rising, so I'm very mentor-like. I want people to work towards their dreams and to achieve them and to be optimistic and to have patience, but to be so honest, I don't always do that for myself. So this episode was also for me, being like, girl, this is what you need. I need patience, I need to trust the universe, and I need to be optimistic about it. Which I also believe in because of, like, spirituality and stuff, but it's like, as you can see by the look on my face, it's a little hard for me. Alright, sexies, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and so thank you for everything, actually. See you next episode. Bye.